What's up guys, and welcome to the first episode of the F1 Legends career mode. Yes, if you guys didn't see the preview episode, then do go and check it out. But basically this series is where we take 22 of the greatest drivers of all time in Formula 1 and put them all together in one series. I hope you guys are excited for it. And I tell you what, if we can hit 150 likes on this, then I will bring out another episode next Tuesday. I'm aiming to do 2 a week. Of course, we are starting here in Australia for the Australian Grand Prix. Let's get into qualifying. As the sun set on a Saturday night in Australia, it was time to get into the first qualifying session of the season. And unfortunately, it was Tyrrell who would be taking the acclaim for the worst team in qualifying. They occupy the back row of the grid, with Jackie Stewart out-qualifying his teammate Scheckter. Both Alfa Romeos also couldn't make it out of Q1, with Giuseppe Farina, the 1950 world champion, out-qualifying his teammate Mario Andretti. The final 2 elimination spots in Q1 went down to the wire between Brabham and Renault, but unfortunately it was Brabham who lost out. Nelson Piquet will start 17th on the grid. He out-qualified his teammate and the homeboy Jack Brabham. Whilst the Renaults made it out of Q1, it was difficult for them in the next session, and unfortunately Prost and Alonso could only manage 15th and 16th on the grid. It was also a disappointment for the Scotsman Jim Clark, who could only manage a lap that took him 14th in the session. His teammate Emerson Fittipaldi, however, nearly made it out of Q2 and into the top 10 shootout. He'll start 11th. The Brawns just couldn't hook up a good lap to get themselves into Q3, but they're looking threatening for the points-paying positions tomorrow. Barrichello out-qualified Button, and they'll start 12th and 13th, respectively. So that left the top 10 shootout to be between Ferrari, Mercedes, Red Bull, McLaren and Williams. Unfortunately, neither of the Williams drivers could hook up a good lap, and the homeboy Alan Jones could only get 10th on the grid, with his teammate Mansell starting 8th. Ayrton Senna spent most of Q3 in the top 4 on the grid, but he slipped down in the final 2 minutes and will start 7th, with his teammate Hakkinen in 9th. Mercedes are looking to pride themselves on qualifying pace this season, but unfortunately neither of their drivers could make it onto the front row of the grid. Hamilton, though, out-qualified 5-time world champion Fangio to start 4th, with the Argentinian just behind him in 5th. That left it between Red Bull and Ferrari for the first pole position of the season, and unfortunately after a mistake on his final lap, Wilkes would only start 6th, with his teammate Vettel only getting 3rd. That meant it was an all-Ferrari affair on the front row, with Niki Lauda out-qualifying Michael Schumacher by just 1/100th of a second to take the first pole position of the season. There we can see the full top 12 then, and you can just see how close it is between the 2 Ferrari drivers. It's all lining up for a great race on Sunday. There are loads of drivers who could cause an upset. But without further ado, let's get into the race. So, as you heard in qualifying, it was a Ferrari domination. Can they take home the victory today is the big question. Of course, ourselves, Red Bull, we're in a very good position today, as are the Mercedes, the McLarens, and even the Williams cars. You know, anybody can really win this race. There you can see Niki Lauda, who took pole position yesterday. Lewis Hamilton just talking to his engineer before the start of the race, looking very composed there in his cockpit, looking to take a victory for Mercedes. And there we are, just talking to our engineer with our lovely little helmet that you can see. But yeah, just as we're on the formation lap now, just going to sort of run through a few things. So yeah, it's very, very exciting for this series, you know, just to see, you know, where we go and, you know, whether we can take home the championship in the Red Bull. Massive thank you to you guys for the support on the preview episode yesterday. I just did not expect such a great response. But yeah, we are lining up on the grid now for the first race in this series. I'm very much hyped. I hope you guys are too. Who are you supporting in this race? I know who I'm supporting. I'm supporting myself, and we are away for the first race of this Legends career mode. We don't get a bad start at all, but Ayrton Senna is actually coming on our outside. We've been way too tentative into turn 1, and it looks as if there may have been a little bit of contact there between ourselves and Nigel Mansell behind, but the Ferraris are unscathed through turn 1, and it looks as if Lewis Hamilton has actually got the jump on the other Red Bull, so the Red Bulls looking as if they're bogging down off the line. We run wide. Mansell is going to take take a look down our inside, but we have the inside line into the next corner. And wow, what a start that is. And you can see, yeah, Hamilton has actually got the jump on Sebastian Vettel, and Ayrton Senna has actually got the jump on Fangio as well. So it is all change on this first lap. We have actually ended up losing a position, and Juan Manuel Fangio is the next man in our sights. A brilliant start from Ayrton Senna, from 7th up to 5th. And you'd expect nothing less from him whatsoever. And now as we come out of turn 10 and towards the sweeping left-right of turns 11 and 12, are we going to take a look down the inside of Fangio? Yes, we do. A beautiful move down the inside of the 5-times world champion. He, of course, won one of his world championships in that Mercedes all the way back in the 1950s. But as you can see there, it looks as if the Williams of Nigel Mansell is also trying to take a look at Fangio. He just gets squeezed out. And look at this little train of cars that we've got all the way up to 3rd place. And Sebastian Vettel has actually got back past Lewis Hamilton. I believe that was actually at the same time that I managed to get my way past Fangio. So it is all going on lap 1. Niki Lauda currently leads the pack through, and it's going to be very interesting to see how the Ferraris fare. But we're just going to take a quick replay, look at a replay of the start. You can see the Ferraris get off reasonably well, and straight away you can just see that Sebastian Vettel really did bog down, and I think Hamilton actually gets him into turn 1. Yes, on the exit of turn 1, Hamilton gets him, and yeah, we just get squeezed out on the inside. Ayrton Senna sweeps around the outside of us, and he was actually taking a look at Fangio ahead as soon as he got past us and managed to do so. But we're actually going to take a look on board with Nigel Mansell. You can just sort of see the carnage ensuing ahead. And so yeah, I get a pretty poor start, brake way too early, and Mansell goes into the back of us, actually loses an M plate on his front wing. So I was very surprised to see that he actually went for a move on us down into turn 3 as well. So yeah, he sort of thought better of it, but yeah, that could come to hinder the Brit later on in the race, the 1992 world champion. And he tried to take a look round the outside there, but it just didn't quite work. But yeah, we are on to lap 2 now, sort of halfway through the lap, actually just coming through the sector 1 split. Of course, we are purple because we're only on lap 2 at the moment, but we're trying to get past Ayrton Senna because that McLaren is not as quick as we are at the moment. So we dive it down the inside and we make the move on the Brazilian. Lovely little move that we get done there. Sort of get our revenge on him after he managed to get us down into turn 1. So we're back up into P5. We've actually ended up gaining a position on our initial starting position in 6th place. But there we can see the Ferraris really stretching their advantage. They've got a 2 or 3 second advantage over Sebastian Vettel in 3rd. And it is Niki Lauda leading Michael Schumacher at the moment. Schumacher's just sort of prowling, maybe waiting for later on in the race to make a move. But yeah, it's going to be interesting just to see whether we can sort of try and keep up with them at the moment. But on to the end of lap 3, of course, we do have DRS active now as we get a massive snap of oversteer out of turn 15. But as we come through the final corner, are we going to get past Lewis Hamilton? We breeze by on the DRS. Brilliant little move there. We must have got a really good exit off the final corner as we come through turn 1. We just sort of secure that move. And of course, we will have actually DRS down through towards turn 3 as well. But Hamilton is trying to take a look at us. He must have got a really, really good exit off turn 2. And obviously, he is in the slipstream, but he thinks better of sort of trying to make a move on us, and we are now up into P4. So it's a Ferrari 1-2, but it is now a Red Bull 3-4. So yeah, looking as if there's 2 teams that are very much dominating this Australian Grand Prix. Of course, it won't be the same for the whole season. You know, there'll be tracks which you know, each team is stronger on. But at the moment, it's looking as if it's Ferrari and Red Bull around this circuit. But as I say that, Lewis Hamilton takes a look down our inside, brakes very late, and actually gets the move done. So a lovely move from the 3-times world champion on ourselves, and he is back up into P4. No lockup there, so yeah, lovely little move from Hamilton. But you can just see on the bottom right hand corner, our tyres are starting to wear out. We actually did an extra lap in qualifying on these tyres, so we may be able to yeah, I don't think we're going to be able to stretch it. It's looking like a 2-stopper today for everyone, but we're coming in very early on lap 5, so we're going to have to switch over to the medium tyres, whereas, you know, I think by the looks of it, everyone else is going to try and run a little bit longer and maybe go for 2 soft stints during the end of the race. But we're going to go onto the mediums now, and then hopefully finish on the super soft tyres and, you know, try and come back in that final stint of the race. But we'll have to see how that all pans out as we come out of the pit lane now. It's only lap 5, so this field is so tight that we've actually come out in last position already. It's Jackie Stewart in 21st with Alain Prost, who's actually on the soft tyres at the moment, in 20th. So, yeah, he could be possibly scoring some points later on if he can sort of, you know, extend this soft stint, but we'll have to see on that one. Skipping now on to lap 6. And it's looking as if the Mercedes crew are out in the pit lane. We're going to go down now to their pit box. And yes, Ferrari are out as well. I think they service Michael Schumacher or possibly Niki Lauda. I'm not quite sure on that lap. But the one we're looking at is Lewis Hamilton. And he has just come out of the pit lane now. And the question is he going to emerge ahead or behind of us? And that is the big question. At the moment, you can see all the cars coming through. And there we are, just in the back of shot. Are we going to get past him? Hamilton is in front of us, but we squeeze him out on the inside. And we have got past him. Now, he is actually on the super soft tyres, whereas we are on the mediums. So it was pivotal that we got out ahead of him. Because hopefully we can try and hold him up and maybe even fend him off and try and keep him behind us in this stint. So he pitted on lap 6, so I'd imagine he's probably going to be going to sort of lap 15, 14 or 15 on these tyres. Now everybody is flooding into the pit lane and we are up into P15. So yeah, myself and Hamilton were actually the first two drivers to pit in this race, along with one of the Ferraris. Not quite sure who it was. So yeah, the front runners very much pushing their tyres. But as we're on to lap 8 now, there's a big gaggle of cars who are yet to pit. They mustn't have been pushing their tyres, but now they're very much going off the cliff. We're going to dive it down the inside of the Tyrrell of Jackie Stewart, and we get the move done, and that's really put a car's width now between ourselves and Hamilton. He does peel off into the pit lane, but that was a very big move because it's really put a nice little gap between ourselves, and I also get DRS as a result of that. And Ayrton Senna emerges from the pit lane, and I believe he is behind us. Yes, he is. So, yeah, we've really managed to get the jump on those lot. Myself and Hamilton sort of dragging each other through this pack. So, behind Jim Clark now on lap 9, and Giuseppe Farina is actually out of this race for the Alfa Romeo team. And there's a safety car that's been deployed on lap 9. This has really thrown the cat amongst the pigeons. So, Jim Clark and also Mika Hakkinen, who are in this pack, are yet to pit. So, yeah, yet to see how that's going to affect them. But as we go now and take a look at Farina, yeah, it's an engine blowout for Alfa Romeo. So the Ferrari guys will not be happy with that. Because obviously the Alfa Romeo powered by Ferrari this season. But as we take a look at the running order behind the safety car, it's still Niki Lauda in the lead of this race. But Sebastian Vettel has managed to get himself up into P2 with Michael Schumacher in 3rd. We are just behind them. And now at the safety car restart, this is going to be difficult because I believe everyone else is actually on the super soft tyres. So it looks as if everyone has actually gone super soft, and then end off with either the soft or the medium tyres. But we are about to prepare to go racing once again. So it's going to be difficult to try and get these tyres up to temperature and get enough grip off this final corner. And as you can see, Schumacher is right off into the distance already. And as we come across the line to start lap 13, we're going to be vulnerable from behind. There's a whole load of cars behind us. I believe it's Hamilton and then Senna as we get caught up on the curbing. That is the last thing that we want. Hamilton's going to take a look round the outside, but Senna as well just sort of gets boxed in by the Brit, and there we can see they were almost 3 wide, and Senna is now gone around the outside of Hamilton, and they are side by side coming through the end of this first sector, and Senna does get that move done. Brilliant there from the Brazilian, and well, Lewis Hamilton fighting with his idol for P5 in this Grand Prix. But yeah, fortunately we managed to sort of put a little bit of daylight between ourselves and Senna, or at least momentarily. Obviously DRS is yet to be active, and we actually go wide there, and that has just given Senna the perfect opportunity to sweep round the outside, and the McLaren gets itself up into P4. Now it doesn't look as if this McLaren is completely on the pace yet. They're still waiting for a couple of upgrades to come before the European season. So yeah, Senna really very much doing what he does, dragging this car through and up into 4th position. So he is going to be a major factor in this Grand Prix, and if he can keep it going, he might even be able to get a podium with a little bit of luck. Ourselves, we're just going to have to sort of try and keep with him and fend off Lewis Hamilton from behind. But now we are on lap 14. I believe Hamilton actually came into the pits on that lap. So yeah, he has already ditched 2 sets of the super soft tyres, so I believe he'll probably go for the medium tyres towards the end. We are now up into P3 with everyone pitting, and we take a look down the inside of Senna, but think better of it. Now, yeah, we don't want to be compromising both of our races at this point. Because obviously a lot of cars in the pit lane, you know, everyone's sort of out of sync with each other. The last thing we want to be doing is fighting with another car and, you know, losing ourselves time. So yeah, I'm pretty much happy at this point to just sort of sit behind Senna, and when the opportunity comes, I'll go down his inside, or maybe even round the outside if we're feeling daring enough. But yeah, if the opportunity arises, we'll go for it. If it doesn't, we'll just play it safe at this stage of the race. So yeah, at the end of lap 16 now, we're very, very close to the Brazilian as we come through turn 16. We actually get a really nice run that time. First time for quite a few laps that we've managed to do so. And it looks as if we're going to get an opportunity down the inside. Are we going to do the same move that we did to Hamilton earlier on in the race? And it's side by side. We do get the move done. We were right on the inside of the curbing. But boy, oh boy, that was a nice little move that we managed to get done there. And up into pretty much a net P4, I believe, at the moment, depending on where, obviously, Hamilton comes out in this race. But, yeah, we've got Sebastian Vettel in front of us. He is currently leading this race. He is on the soft tyres at the moment. So, yeah, I believe he's probably going to go for another set of softs when he comes into the pit lane. And talking of that, talking of the pit lane, Ayrton Senna has actually come in. So it's going to be interesting to see what tyres he is going to be on. As he comes out of the pit lane, he is on the soft tyres and he's on the inside. And that is Michael Schumacher, who's been caught up in traffic. So Senna has actually looked as if he's put himself in a very, very good position. But he is, well, he's also at the same time in an awful position because he's right back out into traffic. And there is one of the Renault cars. I think it's Alan Prost, actually. Yes, it is. And, oh my word, there's been a collision. And coming out of the pit lane, I think that was Juan Manuel Fangio. And you can just see there's all sorts of carnage going on. But Ayrton Senna has been left for dead. And that is his race surely over now. It doesn't look like he's going to be scoring any points today. So that threat has completely gone. At this point, I am completely oblivious to the fact that that has gone on. But boy, oh boy, that has once again thrown a cat amongst the pigeons as Vettel came in on lap 18, I believe. We sort of stuck it out all the way to lap 21 because we wanted to go on these super soft tyres to the end, be able to push the likes of Vettel, who's managed to actually get himself ahead of Niki Lauda now. So very, very good strategy from the Red Bull guys on Vettel's side. The question is, can they do it on our side of the garage as well? And maybe even take home a 1-2 for the first race. Now, we've really got to maximise our points because, like, as I've said it 1,000 times, it is not going to be easy in this championship. There's going to be cars strong at each racetrack, and we have very much got to take advantage of this in the Constructors' Championship as well. So, yeah, we come out in third position on the super soft tyres. Now, Niki Lauda, I believe, is quite a way ahead. We're going to get a time gap now. And yeah, it's nearly 4 seconds, but Schumacher is 4 seconds behind us as Jenson Button, unfortunately, is out of the race. A lot of you guys supporting Jenson, I saw down in the comments section. So there you can see he is retired. Another engine failure, a massive shame for a place where he obviously took the first win of the 2009 season. But yeah, we're ahead of Michael Schumacher, currently splitting the two Ferraris. Schumacher, as previously shown, was just caught up in a lot of traffic, which is unfortunate for him. But we are very much closing in on Niki Lauda now. The gap is under 2 seconds. So we look at Sebastian Vettel. He's got a puncture. Vettel has a puncture. It looks as if he's just pushed the strategy too far. Now, I commented that it was a very aggressive strategy that he went on, going for 2 sets of the soft tyres as well as a super soft stint. And it has come back to bite the 4-time world champion. You can see there myself and Lauda coming through. Vettel has had to pit and we come through, and I come through to take second, and Niki Lauda is leading this race. The Austrian is looking to take maximum points, but we, of course, are on the fresher set of tyres and a better set of tyres as well. We're on the super soft, he is on the mediums, so we are very much closing up to him at the end of lap 26, a lap after Vettel's failure. I'm not actually sure where Vettel has come out. I believe it's about P5 or P6, but now it's all about us as we go down the inside of Niki Lauda, and it looks as if we've made the move stick before we've even got to turn 1, and yes, we do. Brilliant stuff there from ourselves, up into the lead of the first race of this Legends Championship, but Lauda is not going to give up without a fight. He thinks better of it before going down the inside of us into turn 3. But boy, oh boy, we have got a real race in the last 3 laps here. Lauda is, of course, going to probably get DRS if he sticks within a second, but he doesn't even need that because he's got a brilliant run with the Ferrari engine down into turns 11 and 12, and we're going to be side by side going through here. He is on our outside, and has he managed to get the move done? We are still side by side going down into the final complex of corners. We're going to take the inside line, park it on the apex, and it looks as if we've managed to stay ahead of the Austrian for the meantime. He's lost a lot of momentum through that corner there, so I'm not even sure whether he's going to be able to get DRS. I think he should be able to, because he is still pretty close. But yeah, and once again, as we come onto the final lap of the race now, a lap later, it's still myself and Lauda going at it. And it looks as if, as we're looking at the tyre wear gauge, just checking that our tyres are okay, Lauda actually goes around the outside of us into the final few corners. But we are, once again, we're just going to try and park it on the apex as Schumacher is about to join in the fight. All we've got now is a few corners remaining. Lauda is prowling. He's going to have the DRS on the run to the line. But as we come through turn 16 now, we obviously have no DRS. But as we shift through the gears, oh, we've run out of fuel. We've run out of fuel on the run to the line, and Lauda gets it. And Niki Lauda has won the first race of the season in a dramatic fashion. Oh my word. We weren't even looking at the fuel. I mean, we were fine with about 5 laps to go, but Niki Lauda has come through and beaten us to the line for the first race of the F1 Legends career. Ferrari are looking ecstatic. They've taken home almost maximum points this weekend, and there you can see the race results. Wow, what a first race of the season. It was Lauda from myself and Schumacher making up the final podium position. Juan Manuel Fangio actually managed to put together a pretty decent race towards the end, with my teammate in 5th, Hakkinen in 6th. And yeah, Jim Clark also getting some good points. Shout out to him. Unfortunately, no points for Williams today. Mansell just couldn't nurse that front wing damage that he sustained at the first corner. And there you can see Senna in 12th as well. But wow, what a race, guys. I hope you did enjoy it. Leave a like and a comment down below if you did. And yeah, as I said, hopefully we can have another race back on the channel next Tuesday. But until then, guys, I'll see you then. Take care. Bye-bye.